What's up, you guys? Stoopzz back again with another video, and I know it's been some time since I've uploaded a BFA PvP like class review video. To be quite honest, man, YouTube has been really glitchy lately. I've been getting a ton of subscribers telling me that they're not getting their notifications. I've been getting a ton of people that are telling me that they're not seeing my videos pop up on their feed. So it's really frustrating. It's kind of discouraging to sometimes make videos. However, if you guys do want me to post more BFA PvP videos, you can just let me know by commenting in the comment section below or leaving a like on the video. At least that way I know. But I know it'll work itself out in time, and today I have some very interesting news to cover. I have my morning coffee here. And today I am covering the Discipline Priest. Now, Disc Priest, I was going to include in one of those videos that everyone does, like top 3 healers or top 5 DPS, whatever. Discipline Priest were supposed to be, if not the strongest healer that was on the beta. It was by far like extremely busted when it comes to PvP. They never really had to heal. They could just spam out shields. They were doing a lot of damage. It was very, very difficult to take down anybody with a Disc Priest healing them. Now, we have seen some nerfs. They got nerfed, you guys. So if you were planning on rolling a Discipline Priest, I kind of told you that don't bank too much on classes just yet. I'm not saying that they suck now, but they got nerfed, and I'll explain to you why a lot of PvEers are probably not noticing this. I think it's a nerf across the board, but I'll go into depth into why it matters so much in PvP and maybe not so much in PvE. So starting out on the screen somewhere here, I will show you our talent in Legion. I will then show you the previous BFA beta build of Discipline Priest, and then now on the left side of the screen, you'll see what we have in the current build of Battle for Azeroth on the beta. So the biggest notable changes here is we kept like almost everything the same, but level 75, we've seen some changes here. We no longer have Orison, which was a heal that was applied to the target every time you shielded them. This kind of replaced one of the missing parts of Strength and Soul that we have on Legion. They've kind of chopped Strength and Soul in half, and it no longer heals the target. Orison kind of fixed that or patched that up. We no longer have that option. Now, we kept Contrition, but this was nerfed in a previous build. It doesn't heal for as much as it was. It still heals for a good amount. It's still a great pick. And then now for level 75, they moved this ability down there. I don't want to embarrass myself on YouTube. Lenience, I don't know. It's a passive wall that you can put on targets every time you apply Atonement. It reduces the damage they take by 3% when they have Atonement on them. They moved that down to level 100. And you'll see Sins of Many here, which is an interesting trait. It simply reads that it increases your damage dealt by up to 12% and diminishes for each ally that has Atonement. So in Arena, you can be dealing up to 10 to 11, 12% extra damage, which might be useful with Trinity, which we've had in Legion. It's the same thing. So this is an interesting mechanic. I'm not sure what's going to play out to be better. Contrition might be good. Sins of Many might be useful also in PvP. It might be good in Mythics and things like that. However, all of this aside, we're still missing a really, really important talent here that we've had in Legion and in the previous beta build, and that's Grace. We no longer have that at level 100. We have completely lost it from our talent choices. It's not in our honor talent or anywhere else, but it is somewhere unique. And instead, we have Evangelism, which seems to be more of a PvE talent. And we have Luminous Barrier, which also seems to be more of a PvE talent. I think this trait might be, somewhat useful, but it's nowhere near as powerful as Grace. Now, when we're talking about Grace, and then some of the changes that we've seen from Legion to the current build on BFA Beta, we have seen some mastery changes. So in Legion, your mastery was called Absolution, and Absolution increased the amount of healing transferred through your Atonement. So when you were doing damage, you would be healing your allies for a certain amount if they had Atonement on them. Now, when we went to BFA Beta and in a previous build a few weeks ago, we had a different mastery, which was really unique. I mean, it was very overpowered. It just increased like everything. It increased your penance healing, your shadow mend healing, your shield absorption. It was a really well-rounded mastery. And we also had Grace. But now if you go to look at your mastery, you see Grace right here. So now Grace has been taken out of your talent section, and we now have it as our mastery. We now have Grace as our mastery. So some people might say, well, Stoopzz, at least you got it as a mastery, you still get to keep Grace in some way, shape, or form. However, they have changed Grace, and now it's your healing and absorption is increased by a certain amount on targets with Atonement, whereas before, it was your non-Atonement healing and absorption effects. So now it is your healing and absorption. So it's all of your healing. So that sounds kind of good, right? But now you don't get to keep your old mastery and grace. You were able to keep your old mastery traits and you had grace, but on top of that, a lot of PvPers might notice this, but some PvEers might not. The reason why it's a nerf for sure to have grace as your mastery versus a talent is talents are static. Unless they're nerfed in PvP, which you've seen in Legion at some points where they like change an ability and how it works in PvE versus PvP. They make it deal less damage in PvP. Most of the times, your talents are static. However, mastery is simply a stat. If you go over to your mastery stat, you can see that you can increase the amount of mastery you have through various items in loot, and that will buff your grace effect. However, in PvP, it does not work this way. Your mastery is a set number, right? Everyone has a set number that is based off of their item level. We have pre-selected stats in PvP. We have stat templates. And the problem with this is you can't go to purposely increase your mastery currently in Legion and then in Battle for Azeroth. The way you increase your character is through item level, and it's marginal increases across your character, not solely your mastery. So you can see here that, oh, well, Stoopzz, I mean, in Legion, Grace increased your healing and absorption effects by 30%. It also says 28% here, so that's not a big deal. But watch what happens when I enter PvP combat. When I go into combat, you're going to see that my Grace effect drops to 9% because we have stat templates in PvP. Whereas in PvE, they can just increase the amount of mastery they have through their items if they want to increase their Grace effect. We don't have this option in PvP, and that kind of sucks. We don't have that luxury. So losing Grace as a set number in your talents to a mastery, and then on top of that losing our old mastery for Grace, and then having these changes, it's kind of a bummer, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think the class is still probably very, very strong. We did get some new stuff in Battle for Azeroth. We have Desperate Prayer, which is a 1.5 minute cooldown that heals you for 25% of your maximum health and increases your maximum health by 25% for 10 seconds. So it's a nice little wall, a defensive ability. We got Holy Nova, we got Powered Fortitude back. They also changed, which is why I think they changed this system or this breakdown of Discipline Priests, because of the ability to spam Powered Shield. In Legion, you can't spam your shield over and over again, whereas in Battle for Azeroth, there is no cooldown. The only way you could do that in Legion is if you activated your 2-minute cooldown Rapture ability, but they've changed this as well. Now Rapture is a 1.5 minute cooldown. It simply increases your Powered Shield absorption effects by 200% for 10 seconds, and that still goes very well with your Strengthened Soul. That's still really nice with like Archangel. You also can spec into Trinity and maybe Sins of the Many. So there's still some interesting builds here. You have a lot of cool honor talent options, but your regular talents, they don't look like you have a lot of like variability, and overall it's a nerf. Do I think Discipline Priests are like bad? No, I still think they're very strong, but overall this was a nerf, and I just wanted to update you guys on all of that. So if you're planning on rolling a Discipline Priest because they were absolutely busted, maybe you want to reconsider. I might actually lean towards Holy Paladin now. Holy Paladin looks really solid, and they haven't been getting touched and changed all over the place. I don't know what they're doing with Discipline Priest. I'm really confused by it, but I'll keep you guys updated along the way. But that's gonna do for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you have any more questions about the Discipline Priest or my thoughts on other healers, you can let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Try to miss me on my Twitch live stream where I answer all of your guys' questions in depth. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.